Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Shaheen Ghadir with the Fertile Life Podcast. I am very excited to have two very special guests sitting across the table from me right now. Tyler Ferguson and his husband, Justin Mikita, have honored me to be on the podcast, and we are very, very excited to have you guys here. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I'm very proud of you. Two very good daddies, dads that let their babies even sleep on their chest while on an airplane in public.
That's right.
One of the things I was so excited to get started, I usually give everyone the opportunity to introduce themselves and what they're the most proud of. Mm-hmm. So I assumed everyone knows, but I'm going to go back for 1 second. Jesse, is there something that you would like someone who's listening who doesn't know everything about you that you want them to know?
Well, I'm an actor. I am a working actor, which I guess is what I'm most proud of, because there is a difference between the two. But I just finished an 11-year run on Modern Family right before the pandemic, actually. So I was also very proud to finish that run before everything shut down. And I'm very proud of that role and the sort of social ramifications that part also allowed me to have.
I love that. And we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah.
And Justin, how about you?
I'm Justin Mikita, and I'm a lawyer. I made it through law school, which was
I'm proud of you
feat.
for that.
Yeah. I passed the bar, which was also a feat. Jesse had to live through me studying for the bar and was very patient and kind to me. We made it through the pandemic, like all of us, which I'm proud of us all for. And we made it through the pandemic with a newborn, which was not in the plan.
Where did you guys get married?
In New York City at a loft space or a event space in Soho on Mercer Street. It was beautiful. It was just a raw space, floor to ceiling windows with exposed brick walls, and we built out this beautiful wedding. We had Tony Kushner officiate our wedding. He's the playwright and
wrote Angels in America.
Yeah.
And wrote
He's
Lincoln.
amazing.
Yeah.
And it was a really special. It was actually the hottest night in New York, hottest day in New York in that year, and they were having rolling blackouts, and so that was a little panic-inducing. Mm-hmm. And we had 250-person wedding, all these people flown in to the city, and were being threatened by rolling blackouts. But it turned out to be really great.
Like I said, there's always something.
Yeah.
There's always something. So how are you guys enjoying being dads right now?
It's that excitement and then absolute fear, and it's those two polar opposites. And I feel day to day it's sort of the same thing. There are moments when you're this is the greatest thing I've ever done, and then there are moments where I'm so tired, what have I done to my life? And it happens within 5 minutes. Truly.
Believe me, I hear you.
And then back to the other way, we're this is so great, he's doing something so cool and so wonderful, and he loves me so much, and then he's screaming on the floor, and we don't know what's wrong, and you're in misery again. So it's back and forth. It's like a little bipolar.
It's gonna be back and forth a lot more for a long time.
Yeah.
And you're right. There's moments that are just absolutely unbelievable and amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I always say that I think parenting is the absolute hardest job in the world. Yeah. I think I have a much easier job going and making babies at the office than my wife who stays home with 4 kids, because it's enough to drive someone completely crazy if you don't get a break.
Yeah.
And you can't get there's always something when there's one kid, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
4 sounds exhausting. My mom and dad had 4, and we were just in Mexico. We went away for the weekend with Beckett, and there was a couple there with 3 kids, 1 a toddler, and then 1 probably 8, and then 1 11. And we were just looking at each other thinking, that poor couple, they're outnumbered.
They're outnumbered.
How do they even?
And we can tell the middle one was the troublemaker. She causes problems.
Yeah. She probably tries to convince the others, hey, you don't have to listen.
Yeah, we saw the whole dynamic. We had the whole story planned.
You could have written their story for them.
We had figured them all out over our...
But I do love how you guys travel. And a significant amount, it looks like, with Beckett, because we always traveled. My oldest, when she was 3 months old, we went to Europe for 3 weeks.
Wow.
And we were lucky. I think we were just so stupid. Maybe we didn't know.
Yeah.
We took a plane ride and we stood up. The people behind us said to us, "You had a baby with you?" And I was like, wow, and then we've had flights from hell.
Yes.
Where you just thought that was how it's going to always be.
Right.
And we've had flights where we had two twins that were 4 months old. She was 3 years old, and a 7-hour delay.
Wow.
So yeah, and then we had to sleep over in like some motel that the airline took us to.
Right.
So we've had those events as well. But I think it's a really good habit. I tell all my friends to start traveling with your kid at a younger age, because then it's not completely novel to them, and it lets the dynamic of a family kind of grow. And one of my most special times with my kids is when I'm away from the office and we are on a beach or on a fun vacation where you get to just spend some really nice time with your kids. And you guys haven't even experienced this, but like 7th grade is hell. You know, like I'm like, wait, let me see how to do that fraction again. So it just gets, when everyone says it gets more and more complicated, it's absolutely true. And that's why it's beyond important to enjoy every second while you can.
Right. That's
we
good
had
advice.
we had definitely thought we would travel a lot more than we have. I mean, obviously the pandemic was, we were at home for the first
We were pretty grounded.
15, 14 months. And then finally we started. And Mexico was the second trip. The first was to New York, which was terrifying. I mean, the first trip with your child. And Beckett was how old when we went to this?
Just about a year.
Yeah, and so we just were so overprepared. We lost sleep for 3 days. I mean, we were just, because, it's the unknown. And of course he was wonderful and so easy, and it was a success for us. And so then we got overconfident on the way home and were totally unprepared and had the flight from hell, as you call it. And so it's just so funny seeing both dynamics, and they definitely are. It's a challenge flying with kids, but I'm prepared to do it more and more because I think it'll get easier.
We know what to expect.